Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Bolt Action Airsoft. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the cameras and different setups we use to film Airsoft. And right off the bat, we're actually going to bully Noveridge first. Let's go.
Alright, we're chilling.
Alright, so like I said, we're going to be talking about cameras. So this is going to be a two-part series. We're going to talk about cameras and setups to film Airsoft, how we do it. And then, like I said, we're going to be talking about cameras today. So we're going to go from the order in that, like, you need... Have you ever had a dream? I can't even talk. Alright.
Joe Biden over here.
Pretty much. No, that's when you have to have long pauses. Alright, so today we're going to talk about cameras. We're going to go the camera you're going to need first, and then the cameras that kind of are optional, needed by last. We're going to talk about just filming like gameplay Airsoft. We're not going to talk about like this camera or anything right now. So the very first camera you're going to need is a head camera. This is the camera that's really going to be your main perspective. Obviously, you've seen gameplay before, you're going to know what a head camera is. You're going to need a mount for it, something like this. I use the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and since I am a poor boy, I bought a refurbished one, and that's actually a really good option if you don't want to buy like a brand new like $400 GoPro. You can buy a refurbished one. You get it refurbished from GoPro. They're like pretty much brand new. They put like new screens on them and everything, so this is pretty much brand new. This GoPro is great. It's got stabilization, which is pretty key because you don't want to watch... Especially you, when you run around, you're like this.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of annoying when you see those gameplay. Like, I've seen
the
gameplay videos of other people, and it's really just like,
yeah.
When you
I don't know
watch
what's going
our
on.
videos, we pick out the most stable, but the rest of the time, it's like,
Yeah, and this one actually, like, you can still like do it a lot, and it's gonna be pretty straight. This all get you're gonna get your audio from this top camera too, so you want to make sure you got good audio. What I notice a lot is people that put their cameras in the waterproof cases. It's like the audio is like terrible. It's all muffled and it just sounds terrible. So I recommend if you have a waterproof case, if that's your only option, to like cut a hole in it. That's what I did with.
unless you're planning on using it in water.
Yeah, don't cut a hole in if you're using it in water. That's what I did with the other camera. I just cut a hole in the side, kind of like this one, and then this one isn't waterproof, so it's just a mount like that. If you're worried about this lens getting broken, first of all, they're pretty cheap to replace for like 20 bucks. I've only ever got my camera shot out once out of like probably 20-30 times I've been airsofting. But you can buy a screen protector if you need it. But anyway, that's your camera you're going to need for sure, and you're going to need a good camera for that. The next one is the scope cams. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I didn't bring mine, but me and Tyler essentially have the same thing. So, what this does is, it picks up pretty crappy audio. But that's not the point. The point is the view from the aim and sights thing, kind of like you're playing COD, I can speak. You can really place it anywhere. On my sniper, I have it right in front of my scope, and for some reason I can't see it, so it's whatever. But you can place it under if you don't want it in front of your scope, on the sides, wherever you can really get a good shot of wherever the BB's going. We have, Tyler, do you have a longer distance one than mine? I don't actually know.
I think it's about the same.
We have about the same. You don't need a super long distance one unless you're sniping. But I mean, like, this works fine. It doesn't actually have the crosshairs, if you didn't know that. We have to put that in post. But essentially it just gets the view from right here, so when the BB fires, you can just see where it's going. Like I'm looking right there.
And check up here if you want to watch a video about that.
And the thing is, I'll just go over it real quick. For all the cameras, if you want to, like, if you're worried about battery life or anything, first of all, if you're only playing like a 45-minute pickup game, your battery should be fine. For me, the batteries for these are pretty expensive, so I just got a power bank, did some tape and some zip ties, put it on there, and then you have a little cord that can plug in your camera. I know lots of Airsoft YouTubers like Noveridge and other guys use a power bank for their head camera as well. They just put that behind their head. You can do that if you want. I just replace batteries. I have like a charger, and I do the same thing for the front one. But you can tell us some more about the front one.
Had a kid?
I don't know. I don't run cameras at all.
No, but just talk about the face cam, like.
Oh, like the cameras right here, just
Yeah.
to get different angles.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't run cameras because I don't know why, but I just don't do it. But from what I've noticed, it's honestly best to get multiple angles because it's really hard to see or to tell what's going on if you're just seeing his head camera. So what a lot of people do, I've seen this on a ton of people, is they put another GoPro like at the very edge of this, and that's pretty obvious. Just when they get to a good sniping position, they get a shot of them just standing, moving around, just to get like a couple different angles, so it's a little easier to tell what's
More
happening.
angles, the better usually.
Yeah, the more angles, the better it is. Obviously, don't do like 1,500 angles, but it's just nice to have, an angle from this side, an angle from here. And, it just makes the video a little more better to see and watch. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter for this one because you don't need audios. Is this a waterproof case?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily matter for that because all you want is just the angle of them holding the sniper, like getting into it, like cover.
Pro tip: usually the audio comes from one camera instead of all three.
Yeah.
And we'll show you that the next video, how to like sync audio and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So real quick before I want to talk about a little bit like the brands of cameras. I know I kind of mentioned that one, but I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But there is one more camera angle that I honestly don't think is very good, but somehow people put shoulder cameras.
Like over the shoulder?
No, like they put a camera like literally sitting on their shoulder. They're connected to.
You
Like,
see, but like when you have too many cameras,
Yeah.
that's like too many things to think about.
yeah.
So like I've kind of noticed if you go simpler stuff, you just should
Well,
be
no, but
moving
also
quicker
at
in the
that
game.
point, you might as well be having a third-person shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third-person shots are like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
Just have a cameraman running around with you. Airsoft. Yeah, no.
But yeah, so that is like another. I wouldn't say that's an option. If you really want to go like super try hard, you could. But if you need a really small camera for that, and it's not going to be very good quality because your shoulder's not very stable, especially with like aiming and that kind of stuff.
If our head's
Well,
unstable,
because that's also
imagine.
going to be the spot that's holding the gun and be moving around a lot.
Yeah.
So that, if anything, that one's going to be super bouncy.
Yeah. And then there is one other option too. For some reason you don't want a camera on your head, which I don't know why. You could also get like a chest mount. But the problem with that is if you're aiming like this,
yeah,
it's going to be in the way.
And also, if you get the chest mount, you lose the sight, like when you're adjusting of this.
Yeah.
With the chest mount, you're going to be getting
I mean, it might be
the
like
hands.
I've also noticed sometimes with some people when it's on their head, you can only see like the tip of their gun. But
Yeah.
Well,
if you
that's
really
just
want to
the-
get like that Call of Duty angle where you can just see like your hands and your arms going out, you can do
Yeah.
the chest. But
Well,
the head is better because it's
that's
easier
all
to
in
take care of.
positioning, though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how you angle it.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I could have the head like this, or I could have the chest like that, and that's both trash.
Yeah. So that's a good point. You really do want to figure out like some neutral angle. I know I've filmed some gameplays by accident where it's like too far down, you can't see in front of you. You can either connect the camera to your phone if that's an option and just check and make sure it's good. I just kind of know the angle by now that it needs to be at and it works. There's also a mount by I believe Brain Exploder, if I can find a link I'll put it in the description, where this basically can't move. Like there's like a triangle here so it can't go up any higher, and then that's like the perfect angle. So as far as cameras, like I said, GoPro Hero 7 Black. This is RunCam Scope Cam. Click up here if you want to watch the video about that. These two cameras, you can find some pretty cheap action cameras on Amazon. The only problem with them is they're going to have okay video, they're not going to have stabilization, and they're going to have pretty crappy audio. This camera I believe is like 30 bucks. It's pretty cheap. That's what I use for my front camera because I don't need to worry about audio and I don't need to worry about stabilization. So that's a good option if you want to go cheap with that camera. This camera I believe was like 50. This is 4K, although I honestly don't film in 4K. I film in 1080 60 FPS. This camera has decent audio. It's not great. Decent picture quality and then no stabilization, so you just got to be careful with that. This camera I have used for some gameplays that are on YouTube with the head camera. It's like it's a lower quality. That's probably the camera I'm using. I'll put all those links in the description. As far as mounts, that's just a GoPro head mount. You can find those on Amazon. And then that was a mount I made. Some of these cameras come with mounts and you can make mounts, or you can get something like this that's just meant for a backup camera that you can put on a rail. All of them good options. You just got to kind of buy some stuff. Like I said, you should really go in that order that we told you though, because that's the order you're going to need to make people want to watch your gameplays. And what would you guys say? Would you watch a gameplay that's just head cam, or would you want a scope cam if you're going to watch a whole game?
I would definitely want at least more than one angle, just because, I mean, I like video and I'm a bit of a nerd, but watching this for a while is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Watching this and at least cutting, because Unless you do it really freaking well, one cam is really boring.
Because like even if you zoom in a head cam, it's still really not that great. So I'd recommend you at least have the 2 angles, or you could even go up to 3 if you want to do that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any questions about this, leave them in the comments. We'll put all the links in the description. And we'll go to the outro. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Subscribe, like, comment. Merch in the description, Instagram in the description. Check that all out. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch some gameplay, go click right there. And we'll see you guys next time.
A bullied average for copying us.